Teaching English Radio India.
A radio series for teachers of English.
Brought to you by the British Council. Welcome to the program. I'm Vivash Dash, and as usual in this series, we meet teachers from around India as they share ideas on teaching English. Today, we visit a primary classroom with a teacher and her students for a second look at pair and group work. But first, let's meet just some of those who've been giving advice to make this radio series possible.
I'm Shobha from Bangalore.
I'm Nidhi from Bhopal.
I am Monali from Ahmedabad.
I'm Kalpana from Bangalore.
I'm Radhika from Mumbai.
So stay tuned for our program For Teachers and By Teachers. Okay, are you ready? The last time we discussed pair work and group work. We said this can be a really useful technique for getting all of our students involved. This week, we are going to visit a classroom and listen to a step-by-step introduction to how pair work and group work can be set up in a real class. Here's teacher Shobha with a lively class of primary students.
Good morning, children. Good morning, miss. Okay, today we are in the English class. Yes, shall we do a new lesson in English today? Yes, ma'am. Hope we'll all enjoy it. Yes, okay, now, shall we do an activity?
So before she kicks off, let's find out what her plans were.
Activity. Right? Yes. All of you will be in that activity. Right? Now, today I am going to deal with a new lesson. It's about two friends, that's a monkey and a crocodile. So I start my lesson with chatting about friendship in the class. Like, I'll ask the children, do you like friends? How many friends do you have? Who are your friends? Why do you like friends? Like this. Leave all your books. Keep your books down. Okay, all of you please stand up. Make a single circle. Make one circle. All of you.
Now, Shobha is ready to set up a pair work activity. She explains.
I have an activity. It's a pair activity where two children participate. One will be A and the other one will be B. A will say, will you be my friend if I give you a chocolate? Then B says, yes, thank you. Like this. It's a pair activity where children talk about friendship, the things they share. Good. Okay, we all like to have friends, isn't it? Okay, now listen to me. I'm going to ask Santosh. Santosh, please come forward. Come to me. Santosh, yes. Will you be my friend if I give you a pen?
I will give a friend.
I will be your friend.
I will be your friend.
Very good. Shall we repeat it again?
Yes.
Now listen all of you. I'm asking Santosh. Santosh, will you be my friend if I give you a pen?
Yes.
Thank you. Now, you will ask somebody, giving them a thing which they like. Okay? For example, Santosh can ask Deepak. Come on, turn to him. Deepak, come here. Now, Santosh is asking Deepak.
Will you be my friend?
If I give you a chocolate.
If I give you chocolate. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Now, all of you think of one thing in your mind that you would give to your friend. Will you give your friends anything?
Yes, ma'am.
What will you give? Tell me.
I give the pen.
You will give pen. What will you give?
It didn't take them long to think of other things. So she got them to suggest examples. A rose, some money, a bicycle. So the teacher models the question, will you be my friend if I give you a pen? Or, will you be my friend if I give you a chocolate?
Whenever I do an activity, it's very important to give a demo for the children so that gives a clear idea what they have to do and what they have not to do.
She asks two reliable students to demonstrate in front of everyone else. and then gets some pairs of students to repeat around the room. In some cases, a bit of drilling might be needed, with the teacher asking students to repeat all together.
Let's repeat again. Yes. Will you be my friend? If I give you. Repeat. A pen, a book, whatever.
When she has given instructions, she always checks that they have fully understood the task. This short activity is at the beginning of Shobha's lesson. The students are in a single big circle, so it could be done by going around the room in a chain from student to student with everyone listening. Or it can be done more quickly and simultaneously in pairs, so that everyone gets to practice at exactly the same time. In each pair, student A first asks student B, and then student B asks student A. As we've heard, it's a warm-up for a later reading text on the same topic, friendship. Let's listen to the students practicing.
Will you be my friend if I give you rose?
Yes, thank you. Will you be my friend? If I give you chocolate.
Thank you. Will you be my friend
If I
give you pen?
yes, thank you.
As they work in pairs, the teacher walks around. Sometimes she encourages them to have another go and laughs at some of their suggestions. She is aware of some errors, but waits until the end of the activity before giving feedback to the whole class. How did they get on? We asked Shobha later.
The children were excited to think of new things they would give to their friends, like pencils, chocolates. Some said they'll give bicycle. So that went really well.
You are listening to Teaching English Radio, India, brought to you by the British Council.
In the class we are visiting today, that pair work warmer was followed with some group work. The next activity needed the textbooks, as they were going to do a reading activity. She wanted them to get into groups, ready to work together to answer questions about the story. But she also wanted to mix the students up a bit. We won't hear that part of the lesson today, but let's see just how the teacher moved the students from that big circle when they were standing next to their usual friends to sending them off into mixed up groups.
Fine. Now, you're in a circle? Yes. Okay, fine. Now, please repeat numbers 1 to 4.
1,
2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3.
The teacher counts along the row. 1, 2, 3, 4. The students can now be reorganized. All the 1s, the 2s, the 3s, and the 4s grab their books and go to sit together in new groups.
All the ones come here to my right, sit in a circle. Come, friend. Okay, all the 2s raise your hands. Take your books. Yeah, that's good. How many groups you are in now? 4. Hands down. Which group are you? 2. Good. Which group are you? 3. Which group are you? 4. That's great.
Shobha's students have done this kind of thing before, and they are ready for these instructions. But if you are setting up groups for the first time, you could also follow these simple steps. Kalpana is a teacher who's been working in a school in Bangalore for over 25 years. We asked her for advice for a teacher who has never tried putting students into groups.
I would give a simple and a clear instruction how to go about grouping. And I will say 1, 2, 3, 4. So all the 1s together, all the 2s together, 3s and 4s. So I say, okay, they'll come to 4 corners of a room. Say if it is 80, I'll put 10 in a group. I'll have 8 groups.
How can a teacher be sure they are really working and speaking in English?
The teacher has to be a very good monitor. The teacher has to observe what's actually going on in the group, whether they're on task or off task. So whether they're conversing in English or not. And also you can nominate a leader in the group who can have a observing eye, whether everybody, all the other group members, whether my friends are speaking English only. So the teacher can take the help of the monitors in a group, appoint a monitor, whoever is good at English maybe. And the teacher has to keep repeating, speak English, use English, remind the students.
Kalpana and then Shobha. Back in Shobha's class, the children are now working in groups.
They'll read the questions, they find the answers from the text and write the answers in the sheet provided.
As they work, she walks around the room. And then later, she asks the scribe in each group to give the group's answers back to the whole class.
Little manager, loudly to the whole class, read the first question and answer.
Where was the mango tree? The mango tree was on the bank of a lake.
Yeah, that's right. Shall we clap for him?
One problem with large classes is that it's hard to get to know all our students. But to help them improve, it is really important to know everyone's level of English, their strengths and their weaknesses. That allows us to split them into pairs or groups in different ways. Let's hear from trainers Monali, Nidhi and Radhika.
Well, what I feel is that despite the large number of students in a class, it is possible to manage the class and promote language learning.
Mostly in these classrooms, as I see it, what is most important is who sits with whom.
In a class that is very large, teachers normally segment the class into minor groups. So, very brilliant student or a clever student helps a less brilliant one, or somebody who is not very hardworking is paired with somebody who is extremely industrious, and that is how teachers are able to manipulate the situation and use it up to their optimum opportunities.
If we don't organize students in classrooms well, a kind of groupism emerges in classrooms. You have the backbenchers who become the unruly lot, and there are students sitting in the front who are attentive, but then the class gets divided into two very diverse kind of students.
From class to class, or activity to activity, we can move students around so they don't always sit in the same place and they don't always work with the same people. We must avoid the class splitting up into groups at the front who are busy and those at the back who are not really taking part. The dreaded backbenchers. Well, that's all we have time for today. Will you be my friend if I give you a summary? Here are some key points from today's program. We paid a visit to a classroom and heard pair work in action. If set up carefully, it will give all the students a chance to participate and practice, and it is very motivating. Teacher Shobha used pair work for a warm-up activity and then set up group work for a reading text with questions. We'll hear more about that in another program. There are quick ways to put students into pairs and groups. Count along our students: 1, 2, 3, and 4. All the ones in this corner, all the twos in this one. Demonstrate exactly what you want your students to do and double check they've understood your instructions. Give them roles in their groups. For example, a student monitor or a scribe to write the answers. And over this series, we'll feature lots of different ways that group work can be used for speaking and listening, reading and writing, for vocabulary and grammar practice, and for projects. So make sure you join us for more Teaching English Radio India from the British Council. I'm Bibhash Dash. Thanks to all the teachers who've helped us, and thank you for listening. Goodbye until next time, when my colleague Manisha Duck will be with you.